Bachelor in Paradise star shares devastating heartbreak with fans. August 16, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News fans. A recent Bachelor Nation star, who recently joined the cast of Bachelor in Paradise, recently shared an emotional message with fans on social media. The star opened up about a recent loss in their family. Towards the end of the share, the star also touched on something they learned from the recent tragedy. The star recently returned to the franchise for Season 10 of Bachelor in Paradise. Bachelor in Paradise is a spin-off of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette that premiered back in 2014. Former contestants are featured on the show as they traveled to a secluded paradise. Recently, one former star from the show opened up about a family tragedy on social media. Touching on what they experienced as they said goodbye to an important person in their life, they also had a message for fans. Bailey Taylor Brown was introduced to fans in Season 29 of The Bachelor. The Atlanta, Georgia native was eliminated during Week 3. Brown later returned to the franchise with Season 10 of Bachelor in Paradise. This season premiered back in early July 2025. In a video shared on TikTok, Brown opened up, "I wanted to take a second to talk about my dad. It was so traumatizing losing my dad for me, and I still feel like at moments I'm very numb from it." Bailey Taylor Brown also touched on the biggest advice she was given about loss. "But I lost my dad in 2022 to pancreatic cancer. He was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer in 2021, and from there we started a year-and-a-half-long battle against cancer. With it ending with him, he had a stroke, and then he was in hospice for 20 days. And anyone that knows me knows both of my parents are some of the strongest, most amazing, most giving, just the best parents. I'm so grateful for the parents that I was given, that God gave me." Looking back on her father's final days, Brown mused on what it was like losing someone so important to you. "I just adore my dad, and it is such a scary feeling realizing the person that does everything for you, that fixes everything, that makes everything be better for you, is dying, and processing that. And processing that the person that is your whole world is not going to be in your world anymore." Towards the end, Brown wanted to share a message with fans. "I think life is short, so spend it with people that you love and give yourself grace and give yourself time. I think the biggest advice that everyone has told me is to remember the good moments and laugh about them and just realize that I now have someone that's always looking out for me." Did you follow Bailey Taylor Brown on her Bachelor Nation shows? What is your takeaway from Brown's recent video? Make sure you come back to TV shows Ace for all the latest reality TV and celebrity news. Bachelor in Paradise is usually filled with laughter, sun-drenched dates on the beach, champagne toasts, and whirlwind romances that spark under the tropical sun. But sometimes, paradise turns into heartbreak. And this time, the heartbreak wasn't just whispered between contestants on the beach, it was shared with the entire world. In a shocking revelation, one of Bachelor in Paradise's most beloved stars sat down with fans and confessed to a devastating heartbreak that no one saw coming. The story of love, loss, and raw emotion left the Bachelor Nation community shaken. This is the inside story of how a dream romance in paradise crumbled, how fans reacted, and how one star turned heartbreak into a lesson that touched millions. The beach romance everyone rooted for. When the new season of Bachelor in Paradise began, fans had their eyes on Star's name. Known for their charming smile, genuine personality, and vulnerable heart on their original season of The Bachelorette, it was no surprise that this contestant became an instant favorite. As the waves crashed and the cameras rolled, Star's name made their way onto the sandy beaches of Sayulita, Mexico with a mix of hope and nerves. "I came here looking for love," they confessed during the first episode, "but I'm also here to heal." It didn't take long before sparks flew. By the second week, they were already spending nearly every moment with another contestant. Their connection was undeniable, holding hands during cocktail parties, stealing kisses under the string lights, and sharing vulnerable stories that had fans swooning. Social media exploded with hashtags like couple goals and paradise love story. This was supposed to be the fairy tale. Trouble behind the scenes. But as every Bachelor Nation fan knows, paradise is rarely smooth sailing. While the cameras captured the couple's glowing smiles and romantic beach dates, behind the scenes, tensions were building.
The pressure of constant filming, producer manipulation, and insecurities began to chip away at the relationship. There were days where I didn't even recognize myself, Star's Name later admitted. I was trying so hard to be strong, to keep smiling for the cameras, but deep down, I was already breaking. Small arguments turned into explosive fights. Rumors swirled among castmates. By week 5, cracks in the relationship were visible even to viewers. Fans began debating online, was their love real, or was it another paradise fling destined to fizzle out? The shocking split. Then came the moment that no one expected. During one of the most dramatic rose ceremonies of the season, the couple imploded. The tension that had been simmering finally boiled over in front of everyone. Voices were raised, tears were shed, and suddenly, what once seemed like the strongest couple in paradise was over. "I can't do this anymore," Star's Name whispered, handing back a rose. The look on their face said it all. This wasn't just the end of a beach romance. It was the shattering of a dream. The next morning, they left paradise. Alone. Silence after the storm. For weeks after the season wrapped filming, Star's Name went silent on social media. No tweets, no Instagram stories, no TikToks. Bachelor Nation was left buzzing with speculation. Are they okay? Fans asked. Did something happen after paradise? Was there more to the breakup than we saw on TV? While the other contestants reunited for brand deals, podcasts, and sponsored vacations, Star's Name stayed quiet. It wasn't until after the finale aired that they finally broke their silence, and what they shared shocked fans everywhere. The Heartbreak Confession. In a raw, unfiltered Instagram live session, Star's Name sat in their living room, visibly emotional. Their eyes were red, their voice shaky, but their honesty was undeniable. "I wasn't ready to talk about this," they began, "but I feel like I owe it to everyone who's supporting me in paradise. The truth is, I've been heartbroken, more than I ever thought I could be." They explained how the breakup had affected them far deeper than fans realized. This wasn't just a fling gone wrong, it was a relationship they had believed would lead to marriage. When you give someone your whole heart and then it falls apart on national TV, it's not just embarrassing, it's devastating, they admitted. "I've spent months trying to heal, but some days I still wake up wondering what went wrong." Fans flooded the live session with comments of support, sending heart emojis, kind words, and virtual hugs. The betrayal revealed. But the Heartbreak Confession didn't end there. Star's Name revealed that what fans saw on the show was only part of the story. After leaving paradise, they had tried to reconcile with their partner, only to discover a devastating betrayal. "I found out they were seeing someone else almost immediately after we left," they revealed through tears. "I thought we were going to work things out, but I was the only one still holding on." The revelation sent shockwaves through Bachelor Nation. Fans took to Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit to voice their outrage. "How could they do this to Star's Name?" one fan posted. Another wrote, "They deserve so much better. My heart breaks for them." It wasn't just a breakup, it was a betrayal that turned a paradise love story into a cautionary tale. Fans rally around their star. In the days following the confession, the internet exploded with support. Hashtags like Justice for Star's Name and Stay Strong began trending. Podcasts dedicated to Bachelor Nation invited them to share their story. Fellow contestants reached out publicly, offering words of encouragement. Even former bachelors and bachelorettes posted messages of solidarity. "I've been there," one alum wrote. "It's hard, but you will come out stronger. The whole Bachelor family has your back." For the first time since leaving paradise, Star's Name began to feel hope again. Reclaiming their voice. Rather than hiding in heartbreak, they chose to use their pain as a platform. They launched a podcast where they spoke openly about mental health, relationships, and the reality of reality TV. They partnered with organizations supporting emotional wellness, sharing their story as a way to help others heal. "I don't want to be remembered for a breakup," they said in one episode. "I want to be remembered for how I turned heartbreak into strength." Fans who once rooted for their paradise romance now rooted for their personal growth. Life after paradise. Months later, the heartbreak still lingered, but the wounds began to heal. Paparazzi photos showed Star's Name smiling again, spending time with friends, even going on casual dates. In interviews, they admitted they weren't rushing back into love, but they hadn't given up on it either. "Paradise didn't give me the love I hoped for," they said, "but it gave me lessons I'll carry forever." And maybe one day, when the time is right, I'll find the person who sees me for who I am and never lets me go. The legacy of a broken heart. The heartbreak that began on a sandy beach had become something bigger. It was no longer just about a failed romance. It was about resilience, honesty, and the courage to share pain in a world that often demands perfection. Bachelor Nation will never forget the way Star's name broke down walls and reminded fans that behind every rose ceremony, behind every kiss on the beach, there's a human being with a heart that can break just like anyone else's. And sometimes, the most powerful love story isn't about finding someone else. It's about finding yourself
The reunion
after
bombshell.
heartbreak.
When the Bachelor in Paradise reunion special aired, Bachelor Nation was already buzzing with curiosity. Would Star's name confront their ex? Would the betrayal be revealed on national television? As the lights dimmed and Jesse Palmer welcomed the cast back, all eyes were on them. Sitting on the couch, Stars looked both nervous and determined. Their ex-partner sat only a few feet away, avoiding eye contact. The moment came when Jesse asked the dreaded question, what really happened after Paradise? The truth spilled out. Stars bravely shared how they tried to save the relationship, only to discover text messages, DMs, and secret outings their partner had been hiding. The audience gasped, contestants shook their heads, and the camera zoomed in on the guilty face of the ex. It wasn't just heartbreak, it was humiliation. But instead of collapsing under the weight of it, Star stood taller. Being cheated on doesn't make me weak, they said, their voice steady. It just means I gave my love to someone who didn't deserve it. The studio erupted into applause. Fans across the globe tweeted in real time, calling the moment the most powerful speech in Paradise history. The social media storm. The fallout was immediate. Within hours, the ex's Instagram was flooded with angry comments. Sponsorship deals they had been counting on began to slip away. Meanwhile, Stars saw their following explode overnight. On TikTok, edits of their reunion speech went viral, racking up millions of views. Instagram fan pages popped up dedicated to celebrating their strength. One video of them walking off the reunion stage, head held high, was captioned, "This is what real power looks like." But social media also brought challenges. For every fan who praised them, there were trolls who accused them of milking heartbreak for fame. Some even defended the ex, sparking heated online debates. Rather than lashing out, Stars addressed the criticism head-on. Sharing my story isn't about fame, it's about being real. If my heartbreak helps even one person feel less alone, then it's worth it. That level of honesty only deepened fans' loyalty. A surprise ally. Just when things seemed to reach peak drama, an unexpected figure entered the picture, a former Bachelor star who had once been through a very similar betrayal. They reached out privately, offering support, and soon after, they appeared together on a joint Instagram Live. The chemistry between the two was undeniable. Fans immediately began shipping them, flooding the comments with "new couple alert" and "this would be the ultimate redemption arc." Though both insisted they were just friends, the collaboration gave Star a new platform. Together, they began speaking about toxic relationships, the pressures of reality TV, and the importance of mental health. In a way, their heartbreak had led them to someone who truly understood. The tabloid frenzy. Of course, tabloids couldn't resist. Headlines exploded across entertainment outlets. Paradise betrayal, Stars reveals shocking truth about ex. From heartbroken to hero, how a Bachelor fan favorite is inspiring millions. New romance brewing, fans think Star found love again. Paparazzi began following their every move, snapping photos at coffee shops, gyms, and red carpet events. Some articles painted them as a survivor. Others tried to stir new drama, linking them romantically to nearly anyone they were seen with. The attention was overwhelming. It was like I couldn't breathe without someone turning it into a headline, Star admitted later. But instead of retreating, they made a decision. If people were going to watch, they might as well use the spotlight for something meaningful. Healing in public. Stars began documenting their healing journey. They shared raw journal entries, therapy breakthroughs, and vulnerable confessions about sleepless nights and lingering self-doubt. One Instagram post, featuring them sitting by the ocean, read, "Some days I still cry. Some days I still wonder why I wasn't enough.
But healing isn't about pretending the pain is gone, it's about learning to carry it with grace. That post alone received over 500,000 likes. Fans flooded the comments with stories of their own heartbreak, thanking Star for making them feel seen. It was no longer just a Bachelor Nation story, it had become a human story. The ex speaks out. But just as things began to settle, the ex finally broke their silence. In a podcast interview, they claimed the betrayal had been blown out of proportion. They accused Star of exaggerating the timeline and using heartbreak for clout. The comments sparked outrage. Fans immediately rushed to defend Star, calling the ex's words manipulative and cruel. Even former Bachelor alums took sides, with many publicly supporting Star. In response, they posted a calm but powerful statement. Healing isn't about blaming, it's about honesty. I've shared my truth, and I stand by it. People can believe what they want, but I know what I lived through. That quiet dignity silenced the noise louder than any rant could. A new chapter of love. Months later, whispers began again. Paparazzi spotted Star at a small-town coffee shop holding hands with someone new. Unlike the glitzy world of Paradise, this relationship was private, grounded, and away from the cameras. They didn't rush to confirm anything, but in a subtle Instagram story, they posted a photo of 2 mugs of coffee with the caption, "Happiness is quiet." Fans melted. Bachelor Nation blogs declared it the soft launch of the year. For the first time since their devastating heartbreak, Star seemed truly happy again. From broken to unbreakable. Looking back, Stars admitted that the heartbreak was the hardest thing they'd ever endured, but also the most transformative. If I hadn't been betrayed, I wouldn't have limited my own strength, they said in a recent interview. I wouldn't have found my voice, my purpose, or the love I deserve. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is actually the thing that saves you. From paradise to betrayal, from heartbreak to healing, their journey became more than just reality TV drama. It became a symbol of resilience for fans everywhere. The legacy of heartbreak. In the end, the Bachelor in Paradise star who once walked off the beach in tears emerged stronger than ever. Their devastating heartbreak wasn't the end of their love story. It was the beginning of their legacy. And as Bachelor Nation continues to chase roses, champagne toasts, and happily ever afters, fans will always remember the star who showed that sometimes the most powerful love story is learning how to love yourself again.